once a thought turned into an idea, which soon developed into a reality, a technological advancement allowing for more effective medical treatments, three-dimensional bioprinting. The use of 3D bioprinting will be able to benefit not only the civilian people, but military personnel as well. According to Dr. Mark Shelby, the head of one of Canada's largest burn treatment centers, stated in a CBS News article on November 13, 2015, that you probably can reduce war fatalities significantly if you have an off-the-shelf skin product that can be put on. Since the world revolves so heavily around healthcare, in turn coincides with the persistence of medical technological advances, the knowledge of bioprinting helps educate and bring awareness of such accessibilities. The development of 3D bioprinting has the ability to transform many lives of the American people and those around the world. Today, will first be discussed the scientific origin, then the process, and lastly, the advantages and disadvantages of the use of 3D bioprinting. One of the first steps into knowing about 3D bioprinting would be a little insight on the scientific origin. To understand the origin, the breakdown of bioprinting is the three-dimensional printing of biological tissues and organs within the layering of living cells. The promise of printing human organs began in 1983 when Charles Holz invented stereolithography. It is a special type of printing in which it relies on a laser to confirm a polymer material which is released from a nozzle. An engineer who had the instructions for the design would define 3D shape in a computer-aided design software and send the file to the printer. Dr. Anthony Attila a director of the Wake Forest Institute for Regenerative Medicine, stated in a CNBC News article on November 2nd, 2015, when we started 10 years ago, we were using a modified desktop printer. It worked, but it didn't have the right integrity to develop the tissues for the patients. The development of this technology over the years have given it the structure for the development of bioprinting with the tissues. The next step in research of three-dimensional bioprinting is the development of scaffold-free bioprinting. In this development, it began with the printer itself, and then with the idea of the foundation of cellular aggregates, also known as bioink. The foundation of bioink can be traced back to Dr. Igor Forgax, who came up with the idea of how cells stick together in embryonic development. According to medical research and practicing site Organovo, Forgax compiled the knowledge of developing three-dimensional tissues. To understand the developed process, it is beneficial to know the process of three-dimensional bioprinting. In order to develop any technological advancement such as three-dimensional bioprinting, there has to be a process. In this process, it includes the identification of essential building and writing elements of a target tissue. A tissue design is established before the three-dimensional tissue can be printed. The first step is to develop the bioprocess structure, which needs to be known in order to develop the tissue. Bioink is from the cells that will be used to reconstruct the tissue for the patient. The other part of the process is the creation of a design that can be used by a bioprinter to regenerate tissue. When bioink is developed, it is used and then displaced from a bioprinter. It uses a layer-by-layer approach that is scaled for the target tissue so that it can be printed. According to a medical research and practicing site, Organovo, a tissue is built vertically to create the three-dimensionality. There are benefits and drawbacks when it comes to any technological development and their uses. There are advantages and disadvantages when it comes to any new development. With this recently developed advancement for medicine, three-dimensional bioprinting, there will be benefits for the medical uses. Scientists are able to eliminate the wait list for organ transplants due to the use of three-dimensional bioprinting so that they can formulate an organ for the patient already. The new technology is able to benefit surgeons in their daily lives. According to Congress President Professor Bilal Al-Nawas, the medical director of oral and maxillofacial surgery, stated in a Dental Tribune article on July 13, 2016, said that that 3D bioprinting is that in 3D bioprinting there will be a benefit in the use and the database of three-dimensional bioprinting, and that it will be able to affect the surgeon's use more. Although there are benefits when it comes to developing technology, there are also disadvantages to this as well. A major concern, according to ABC Science, a Science News and article station, about the development of advanced medicine are the costs of this. The question remains whether or not these treatments will only be able to be given to those who are able to afford them. Another concern is how we will be able to test three-dimensional bioprinting for the safety and the effectiveness of this development. Another concern is, lastly, what will be the printing capabilities of unrecognizable tissues, such as if a patient needed a treatment for this, it will discredit the effectiveness of this development. Now I will review the information I have shared with you today about three-dimensional bioprinting. First, the scientific origin focuses on the base of developing the bioprinter and the design software, as well as the research for the foundation of bioink and the direct usage and the direct assembly of 3D tissues. Second, the process of building and writing materials and the printing of bioink. Lastly, the advantages of three-dimensional bioprinting will be able to give a more effective, will be able to give a patient a more effective organ or tissue, and the disadvantages are the costs and the questions of how safe and the effectiveness of this development. Due to the development of 3D bioprinting, the accessibility to reliable medical advances are now in place for those in need. Most who are uneducated or unaware about technological developments in the medical field are not able to grasp their availability to them. However, I hope after gaining knowledge about a knowledge and learning about three-dimensional bioprinting, you are able to appreciate the accessibility to them.